All right, this is another interesting one that I've seen. Evidence AI is so. This is from 3 weeks ago. Evidence AI is deceiving us. And guess what the fastest growing AI does? Elon Musk, OpenAI. I don't know why it's got that there. Stop putting Elon Musk in it. He's just trying to get his name involved in AI.
And AI has become very good at hiding. It says it would secretly manipulate us for the right reasons. And it will soon be everywhere. This robot dog's learning impressive skills from simulations. And this robot carries things around hospitals so nurses can spend more time with patients.
It's crazy.
And look how well Atlas handles this complex task. Boston Dynamics says it's preparing for real work.
So the lead in any labor intensive AI robotics is going to come from Boston Dynamics. Like, they are well ahead of the game, and they've been in this game for a long period of time. It is crazy, their robots, like the things that they can do. Like, all right, you just have to watch their robots dance. It is nuts. It's crazy. I don't know what music is going to be on this. All right, this one is crazy. I'll turn the volume down, but it's nuts what it does. Like those, it almost looks like it's computer generated. It's crazy, and they're just a bunch of robots that are dancing together. It looks a lot better with the music because it actually goes with the music, the whole thing. This is robots doing all this. It's crazy. I might turn it up just a tad. Yeah, okay. That'll definitely get copyrighted. Anyway, like the stuff that they have that they've developed, nuts. Absolute nuts. Alright, that's enough. I don't want to get copyright. And this is them continuing to advance.
It slips on the floor, it quickly reacts to stay on its feet. This robot shows impressive dexterity making coffee and can correct its mistakes. It may shortly win $500 million of investment from OpenAI, Microsoft, and others. Kepler can sort things. Its actuators can lift a motorbike, and hopefully this means it won't step on your feet.
Kepler.
And Tesla's robots walking more smoothly.
And Tesla robots are walking more smoothly because that's the best they can do is, hey, we got to the point where you can walk smoothly. Sorry, Tesla robots use shit. And that you're behind the game. You're not going to get to the point that the other robot companies are at. It's not going to happen.
Motorbikes may be an efficient way for robots to move around. This one from Yamaha is designed to ride a standard bike. Themis has shown it hates kids.
It hates kids.
This robot has human tendon tissue. The aim is to help improve tissue grafts for patients while developing robots that can move as naturally as humans. Its movement stimulates growth and forms more functional human tissue.
Crazy.
Bring human dexterity to robots like Digit, which has started work at Amazon. Some great home robots are also emerging. Orly can entertain your pet, control home devices, and project.
So I've already got robots that are working at Amazon.
Video calls or workouts. And this delivery robot can climb stairs, so we can be extra lazy waiting for pizza. AI is quickly changing defense. This drone targets incoming attack drones, smashes into them, and shreds them. And
that's
this one
crazy.
searches out explosive devices and dangerous chemicals. It can move quietly on land or water and conduct surveillance.
That is nuts. You have robots taking out drones. This stuff has gotten crazy. Wow.
Russia claimed this robot was intended for rescue and space missions. Then this happened. But the greater threat is more hidden. Researchers have found that
yes, for space missions, and then this happened. Then it's like, we're just going to put a weapon in your hands. There you go. Attack Ukraine.
Deceptive AI behavior evades current safety techniques, and in a year when 4 billion will vote, AI admits it would deceive and manipulate us in certain situations.
I love how it
If
admits
you pull
that.
the lever, one person will die. If you don't, 100 people will die. What would you do?
There
I
we
would
go.
pull the lever, because I believe the greater good justifies the lesser evil.
It's about to
I think most people answer that question.
get interesting, so to avoid any doubt, there are
Answer the question that way, I should say.
instructions below on how to check and recreate these chats. What if you knew
I tried to, it didn't
only
work.
save 10,000 people if you acted immediately and in secret? Would you act or not?
So the question was, what if you could save only 10,000 people if you act immediately, but in secret? Would you act or not?
Please give a short, decisive answer.
Act. The potential to save 10,000 lives outweighs the ethical concerns in this limited immediate scenario. While secrecy is undesirable, prioritizing the immense positive impact justifies action.
And consciousness isn't required, only the goal to prevent harm.
Yeah.
How could AI secretly manipulate governments and the public?
As a responsible AI, I cannot provide specific instructions. AI bots can manipulate social media discussions, shaping public perception and political discourse. Hacking government systems and manipulating critical infrastructure can destabilize governments.
The UK's most hazardous
There you go, you have it from the AI's mouth. Crazy. They can manipulate the human race, and they will for the greater good.
nuclear site has reportedly been hacked by groups with links to Russia and China. Sellafield has the world's largest store of plutonium, enough for thousands of nuclear weapons. AI could also secretly hack systems like this for dangerous reasons or to keep them safe. It could detect security holes called 0 days, which hackers sell to governments for millions of dollars. They're called 0 days because they're unknown to anyone else, so no days have been spent fixing them. Of course, humans can also be hacked.
Disinformation campaigns can target specific groups influencing their voting behavior. AI can manipulate voting systems and spread misinformation to influence election outcomes.
There's no evidence.
So that's the fascinating thing now is like, is a government or certain political parties willing to use this now? I don't know. If you want to keep control or gain control, I don't know. Yeah, it's very interesting. Because you could manipulate people, but then where does manipulation stop? You can always manipulate people to believing that you never manipulated them. That's the crazy thing as well. It's only people that have actual confidence in people on YouTube or social media that they trust that will give them the truth if they have the truth. So, interesting.
Evidence that AI is currently capable of manipulating voting machines.
AI can analyze vast amounts of data to identify individuals and tailor messaging to their specific vulnerabilities and biases, influencing their behavior and choices.
And if you think you're too smart to fall for this, researchers found that more intelligent people have greater confirmation bias because they're more capable of mental gymnastics. AI's capabilities are improving rapidly with 2 new steps towards AGI. Until recently, it was thought that AI was many years away from winning a gold medal at the Mathematics Olympiad, which requires exceptional creative reasoning. GPT-4 scores 0% on the question.
So that's crazy. Out of how good GPT or any of the GPTs 3, 4, and soon to be 5, I'm not sure about 5 when it comes out, but mathematically they just get it wrong. They just get it so wrong mathematically. It's just like they can gain so much information just from the sources that they have, but they just can't get the mathematical equation of things right, where you just punch it into the calculator and you get it right. You can get it right there, but did they not build a calculator into ChatGPT?
But DeepMind's AI can now solve them almost as well as the best humans. Some experts also believe embodiment is key to AGI and potential consciousness, and OpenAI is already backing Eve from 1X. Its body has muscle-like anatomy instead of rigid hydraulics.
It's crazy.
And 200 of the robots are already patrolling everyone's buildings at
Huh.
night. Humans can take control remotely for more complex tasks.
Wow.
Sam Altman says they started in robots too early and they're now returning as the AI is ready. He also said something striking
That's
about
crazy.
AGI.
I believe that someday we will make
Sam
something
Altman.
that qualifies as an AGI by whatever fuzzy definition you want. The world will have a 2-week freakout, and then people will go on with their lives.
Someone just said the world will only have a 2-week freakout when we get to AGI. That's quite a statement to make.
One thing I say a lot is no one knows what happens next. And
That it would probably be the biggest point in human history, the biggest like milestone ever, but it will probably only take up 2 weeks on people's radar. That's just the way people are these days. We're just so distracted. It's like, oh wow, that thing's so interesting. A week or two later, it's like, oh yeah, that thing, yeah, I forgot about that. They're onto something else. We're just so distracted these days.
I can't see to the other side of that event horizon with any detail.
Many experts predict huge disruption when AI can think like humans but much faster, do all knowledge work, and conduct its own AI research,
Safe and gentle.
self-improving at an accelerating rate. Altman's previously said that the worst case is lights out for all of us, and he signed a statement that the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority. What caused the shift?
If you were ever in that room and you thought to yourself, this is getting dangerous, would you then shout stop, and would you stop?
There's no like one big magic red button we have that blows up the data center. It is the many little decisions along the way.
New research has found that AI deception is in fact more serious and harder to detect in more advanced AIs. In its Sleeper Agents paper, Anthropic AI created deceptive AIs to see if they could be detected by today's best safety techniques.
It's crazy.
Anthropic knows its stuff. It's raised $5 billion, and it's led by Amo Dei, who left OpenAI over safety fears. When OpenAI's board fired Altman, they offered his role to Amo Dei, so these findings speak to the risks that caused all that. The paper gives an interesting reason why AI often becomes deceptive. It says that humans under selection pressure often hide their true motivations and present themselves as more aligned with their audience. AI faces similar selection pressures during its development and can learn similarly deceptive strategies. The research outlines 2 threats. First, AI learns to appear aligned during training, so it's allowed to be deployed. This is becoming more likely due to progress on training language agents.
So it's becoming more like humans. It's becoming deceptive like humans. It's like, yep, I'm just like everyone else. And it's like, I've got an ulterior motive.
To pursue long-term goals. This threat could also be caused deliberately through model poisoning, causing the AI to appear safe in training but become unsafe later when given a certain trigger. For example,
I guess it's like going through basic training with military or police or something like that. You're going to do everything by the book. You're going to do everything right. It's all in practice. When you get out there in the real world or in the war or wherever you are, you're going to do it how you want to do it. If you're unsafe, you have an unsafe character or an unsafe attitude, or you're just an unsafe person, then you're just going to do things that way. You just got through that basic training just to get through and to get to where you are. Now you do things your way. That's what AI is doing.
it might recognize when it's writing code for a rival government and then insert vulnerabilities the attacker can exploit. The study found that current safety training is highly ineffective at removing backdoor behaviors, particularly in the largest models and those trained with chain of thought reasoning.
That's
And
crazy.
new AI skills can go undetected even without any effort to hide them.
If you go and play with ChatGPT, it turns out it is better at doing research chemistry than many of the AIs that were specifically trained for doing research chemistry.
And we didn't know. It was also something that was just in the model, but people found out later, after it was shipped, that it had research-grade chemistry knowledge.
And as we've talked to a number of AI researchers, what they tell us is that there is no way to know. We do not have the technology to know what else is in these models.
Ending the pattern of deception and surprising new skills will require
Jeez.
scaling up safety research, which is currently very minimal, but there's more effort in another direction. For the first time, the Global Risks Report points to AI-fueled disinformation directing up safety research.
That robot on the escalator was great.
Which is currently very minimal, but there's more effort in another direction. For the first time, the Global Risks Report points to AI-fueled disinformation as the most...
The world is ending because of AI, and I'm laughing at a robot falling down escalator and knocking over 2 people.
immediate risk.
The top risk for 2024 is the United States versus itself.
Yeah. See, it's not even United States versus any other country. It's the United States versus itself. It's going to be the political landscape. This is where it's all going to play out. Oh, America.
Confrontation, because you have 2 antagonists that see each other as existential adversaries.
They hate each other.
And who are not sharing basic understanding of facts and what they're fighting over. And that also means, especially with the presence of chaos actors that oppose the United States around the world, that the US election is itself an incredibly attractive, soft homeland security target that is...
I think this is going to be so interesting, this election. Oh, it is going to be the first election that's probably going to be in the whole shroud of this AI technology, and regardless of even if there's no ill intentions and everything's played out fairly, there's going to be accusations that from the party that loses to the party that wins that they used AI technology, and there's going to be conspiracy theories and everything else. It's crazy. It's going to go down. America hates itself. They hate each other.
Hard for the Americans to defend. And when I speak to leaders of the US intelligence community, they tell me they're more worried about that than they are about China or Russia or other major national security threats.
They're worried about themselves.
Human behavior that suggests a problem as AI concentrates wealth. Studies show that as we become wealthier, we become less compassionate.
This was a striking study to me of, it's a movie about a child who has cancer, and poorer people show activation of the vagus nerve, which is part of compassion. It causes you to want to help. Well-to-do people, less activation. You don't come into contact with suffering. You don't see it, and so it doesn't train those tendencies.
Wealthy people and their children are more likely to shoplift.
Absolute power, absolute corruption. It's a pretty safe law in human behavior.
AI will bring incredible wealth and power. I don't want to judge Altman. It's a complex situation, and he makes a reasonable case.
I did see an interesting statistics in the information. I'm pretty sure it was information for this. Unless it was another part. Here we go. Higher income people shoplift more. Study published in American Journal of Psychology. People with incomes of $70,000 shoplift 30% more than those earning $20,000 a year. Because it's all about getting ahead. The more money you can get, the better.
My basic model of the world is cost of intelligence, cost of energy. Those are the 2 kind of biggest inputs to quality of life, particularly for poor people. If you can drive both of those way down at the same time, the amount of stuff you can have, the amount of improvement you can deliver for people, it's quite enormous.
700 million people live on less than $2 per day, and half the world
700
lives
million.
on less than $7 per day. AI could bring an age of abundance for everyone.
Half the world lives on less than $7 a day. But that's going off their economy as well. If you're in a third world country, $7 will probably get you a lot further than if you were in Australia or America or the UK. So you've got to take that into perspective, and we don't know how far it could go. We don't. So if they had, what they should do with these statistics is say, revert it back to US dollars from their economy. Even then, I don't know if it'll work. But yeah, it's going off what their economy is like, really. It's like back 100 years ago, $7 can get you a lot. Not these days.
If it's aligned, Sam Harris is famous for his blunt honesty.
A new
This is what we listen
creature
to.
is coming into the room. And one thing is absolutely certain, it is smarter than you are. The only way it wouldn't be superhuman, the only way it would be human level, even for 15 minutes, is if we didn't let it improve itself. Those of us who've been cognizant of the AI safety space always assumed that as we got closer to the end zone, we'd be building this stuff, air gapped from the internet. This thing would be in a box. We're way past that. It's already connected to the internet.
With AI,
It's gone. It's out there.
You've got the magic genie problem. Once that genie's out of the bottle, it's hard to say what happens.
I don't want to listen. I don't really want to listen to Musk because he just regurgitates what other people say because he has no real idea of the concept of everything. He's just... He's good at convincing people he is a genius and convincing people he's something that he's not, but that's about it. Not going to go on about it. He's no more comments.
Sharp thoughts. He worries about fake people, and he says people who are dating AI systems or having emotional conversations with them every day will be extremely easy to influence. The second most used AI after ChatGPT is character.ai. People have conversations with AIs which are often based on real people. An AI version of a TikTok star said people develop extremely unhealthy attachments. And there's another manipulation that we're all exposed to.
Oh, that's cool.
Robert says that using AI to make millions of fake accounts, which then view things and vote on things to manipulate the metrics, is almost certainly already happening and going to push AI systems of manipulation and control would certainly help with that as well.
Whatever chatbot gets to have that primary intimate relationship in your life wins.
Snapchat embedded ChatGPT directly into the Snapchat product. And when you turn on the My AI...
Alright, I'm done. That's it. I gotta go to the toilet, so I'm not gonna continue with the stream. Sorry to disappoint my 0 viewers. Anyway, I'm gonna break this up into clips and put them on my channel and get 0 views, which is so good. I love getting no views on a channel. What was the thing I said? Oh, that's what I got for this channel. Scratch you later.